Gina. Hey, but I just thought about something, y'all. It reminds me of a time, well, more than one time when I've gotten in my own way. Um, I think I want you guys to ask me some questions because I got some things I want to share. All right, so before y'all ask me any questions, let me tell y'all a little bit about my story.
My baby hot, don't speak to any moment. Product of her environment. Shout out the global woman. Can't box her in with any trend. No, she's a global woman. Call fire, Marshall Bill. Like, let me tell you something. Flawless, beautiful. Follow codes down to her toes. Cuticles, picking rolls with the flow. Slam dunking all the goals. Silvers for the novice and golds for the pros.
Hey, so like I was saying, I've gotten in my own way a lot. I don't have any specific instance that I can share with you guys. I'll just say being a dad has been one of the toughest things to do. I know I've gotten in my way when it comes to that. Being in a marriage, I definitely got in my own way. Being a leader of a household
Hold
is
on, Obi, hold
challenging.
on. What do you mean when you was in a marriage? Like, how did you get your own
Um,
way in a marriage?
Uh, I think because I got married at such a young age, married my high school sweetheart, neither one of us knew what we were doing, man. We just kind of, were together in high school, liked each other, loved each other, whatever. I decided to join the military and leave the small town that I was from. Didn't listen to the advice that my parents gave, didn't listen to like the advice that my grandmother gave me because I said, I'm 17 years old. I'm going to serve my country. I'm good. I'll figure it out. And while I did figure some things out, the main thing I figured out is that I wasn't ready and just kind of made it work while it did work. But I got in my own way because I should have listened to my elders. I should have listened to people that were trying to tell me some things, but I didn't want to because I just thought I was grown.
Do you regret like going to the military?
Oh no, I don't regret going to the military. That was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. I don't think I have any regrets with any decisions that I've made. They've been learning experiences for sure. But regrets, no, not at all.
Do
So
you
when
regret
you
being?
say,
Go ahead.
oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead. No, go ahead.
so when you say you got in your own way in your marriage, I mean, explain that a little bit more. Is it that you got, because I know that a lot of young men, when they get ready to go off to the military, sometimes they feel like, oh, I need to get married, because it's what's best for everyone involved, especially because I don't know if you had your son or your child by this time or
Mhm.
not, but why do you think, what was your biggest reason for marrying her or getting married young?
I can't believe I'm about to tell y'all this, but money. You get married in the military, you get more money. When you have more kids, you get more money. So that was probably the biggest contributing factor to me doing that.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't care about what anybody said. I was just listening to myself.
So was that the only reason?
No, I mean, no, I care for her. I loved her. That was my high school sweetheart, but
Okay.
that was, nah.
All right. So I want to piggyback. You said you got in your own way as far as being a dad. Do you think
Hmm.
was the biggest obstacle for you? Because I know in the beginning, sometimes it's scary, but then you're excited. So what do you think was the biggest obstacle for you in being a dad?
Not knowing, the fear of not knowing, the fear of having to figure things out without asking the right people for questions, not having an example outside of somebody that wasn't close to me to go by, not being in church, definitely for sure, um, but just not knowing, just kind of trial and error. Didn't reach out to friends, didn't reach out to colleagues who were parents. Definitely didn't reach out to my community of friends that had kids before I did to see what their struggles were, to see what their losses were, and to see what their wins were.
Hmm. So did you regret the marriage?
Oh, um,
Come on now.
wow. Don't put me
Let's
on the
both be
spot.
real now.
Don't
Keep
put
it
me on the
100.
spot.
People want to know.
A little bit, yes, because I was too young, just too young. Didn't know anything about marriage, nothing about love, nothing about commitment, nothing about teamwork, nothing about fight, grit, determination, none of that. Um, I saw my parents go through their battles. My grandparents went through their battles. Aunts and uncles went through their battles, but like my generation was different. We had a quit first, ask questions later kind of attitude. So I didn't know enough about marriage to make mine work, and didn't. I won't say we didn't have counseling back in, but I don't think counseling was ever a thing that we thought about going through.
I think that was my question, Obi, is that sometimes I know that, we're like, we talk about the things that we didn't have.
Hmm.
Sometimes we miss the things that we did. So
Hmm.
I know he asked if you had any regrets or anything, but um, what is something that you feel like, because sometimes it's not about what we didn't have, it's about what we don't want to do either. And so sometimes when things get like crazy, it's like we could do this, but we don't really want to.
Hmm.
We ain't gonna do it. So
Hmm.
what do you think was available that you didn't take advantage of? Because I know in the military they provide a lot of resource, especially for young families. So do you think it was more that you just weren't interested in making it work for whatever reason?
I think it was both of us, not just me. But yeah, I mean, we didn't take advantage of our family members. We didn't go to them when we had problems. Didn't reach out to the services that they provided on base for people that are having issues. Didn't try to seek therapy or counseling. Um, didn't do any of that. Didn't reach out to family members that were our age, that were married, that had kids or similar situations. Um, because we were on an island by ourselves, not literally, but just being away from home. Can't leave. I was like I lived in Keflavik, Iceland. Can't leave Keflavik and go down the street and be at your parents' house in 5 minutes. You
Right.
just gotta figure it out. And when you try to figure it out on your own, you get in your own way, and sometimes you make the wrong decisions.
Okay.
If y'all just tuning in right now, Obi is talking about how he got his own way, and me and Angel's grilling him because we don't think we think he's lying. He might be capping about how he got his own. Y'all just
Who
joking, I'm
you?
joking, but he's giving us a little bit insight about how he got his own way, and we're just trying to see how can he make better decisions. Um, why did he get his own in his own way? And he's telling us a little bit about the military, I believe, right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's not that I made a bunch of bad decisions because I don't want anybody out there to think that, especially you, KK, if you're watching. But no, I didn't make a lot of bad decisions. Just young, just young, hard headed. Got a job, got your own crib, you got cars. I wasn't thinking about none of that. I was thinking
Ability.
about me. Hmm?
Just said responsibility.
Yeah, yeah. You wasn't thinking about none of that. You was just just out there living life.
So let me ask you, or Ed, you got another question? I
Go
can go.
ahead, go ahead.
So let me ask you, where from that point then into where you are now, because we see, I mean, what do you think that you do? How do you typically react when you're faced with challenges and setbacks? Because would you consider that a setback? Would you,
Um,
I mean, we know it was a challenge, but how do you how do you respond now when you make decisions and you're like, oh, like maybe it wasn't like the best. So like, when you're faced with this. So what do you do now?
I base a lot of my decision on facts. Facts of life, facts of what other friends go through, facts of what I've seen like some of my colleagues, some of my boys go through. Um,
That's
I've
fact
never
or is that opinion?
Yes, that's facts.
Oh,
That's
what is it?
fact. That's not opinion. That's
All right, I
fact.
need you to give me a fact because it's based off of the people who's in the situation, but give me a
Mhm.
fact that you saw that you feel like is truth all the way through.
One that I know for sure stay faithful, do the right thing, don't mess up because you can blow your whole spot up. And I've seen a lot of my boys and some of my female friends go through that. And I'm not gonna go through that. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt and all. I've seen people get hurt. I've been hurt. Nah, it's not worth it. It's not
Okay.
worth it. And people get killed, stabbed, shot, their cars get messed up, clothes get bleached. At, at my age,
You
nah, I don't
talking
have.
you talking from experience.
I'm talking from facts of things that I know. Nah, my clothes ain't never been bleached. My car ain't never been attacked or written on or scratched or none of that. But I know some people that have gotten their windows busted out, flat tires.
Okay.
I've had boys who've got their clothes bleached. And then at the age
What
that
kind of
I'm at
women they
now,
dealing with?
hey,
Right.
yeah. But you'd
Right.
be surprised. Corporate women do stuff like that too. Don't get it twisted. It ain't just people that work at like
Oh yeah,
Harris
no,
Teeter
crazy
or
is
Target.
crazy.
Hmm?
Crazy is crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy is
crazy is
crazy if
crazy.
you a celebrity. Crazy is
Yeah.
crazy if
Hmm.
you VP owner. Crazy is crazy.
Yeah. If you mess with somebody's heart, man, or mess with their emotions, there's no telling what they can do or what's gonna happen. So, nah.
So since
Mm-mm.
you've been in the military, you've been divorced. What are some interesting quotes, some insights you live by?
Um, I think the main one that I live by is one that I was taught about probably 25 years ago, and it has to do with integrity. And this always do the right thing, even when nobody's looking. Because if you do that, you don't ever have to worry about. Well, I'm not gonna say you don't ever have to worry about anything, but you're not gonna have to worry about nothing. You don't have to worry about somebody saying you lied about something. You don't have to tell lie B to cover lie A because that lie is gonna get all the way to the letter Z. And I don't lie. I can't keep up with lies.
Yeah.
Did that when I was younger. 18 to 25. I don't have time for that no more because it's just too much, and it's a lot of stress too. It's a lot of stress. Um, and I think the other one is I know it's probably one that everybody has heard, but my grandmother told me treat people how you want to be treated, and that's how I do. But I mean I'm good about it, but the bad thing is if somebody like gives me the behind the kiss, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
give them mine the kiss. I know it's not right, and I'm hoping
So you like
God
to
forgives
retaliate
me.
then? You said what was the first thing you said? Go back to the first thing you said you live by.
Integrity. Oh, you talking about treat people how you want to be treated? Yeah.
So you gonna get somebody your ass to kiss because they gave you the ass
If
to kiss?
you yeah, if you do that, I'm probably gonna give you mine. Yeah, with a couple of choice words added to that too.
Ooh.
But that's not right though.
I know it ain't right, but if
You just said
somebody
treat
how
people
you
as you want to be treated. So how can they treat you
yes.
bad? You're not treating them as they
However,
want to be treated. They don't want to get treated like that.
if I walk into a grocery store and somebody like gets in my way or does something that I feel is intentional, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do something back to them intentionally, but I'm probably gonna hope something bad happens to them at the checkout counter. Like I hope the card gets declined or something. You know what I'm saying? Hey, especially like I'm horrible. Like my road rage is horrible. Like it's horrible. Um, yeah. If you cut me off, I'm probably gonna cut you off just to get you back. I will do that. But it's
Wow.
Well,
all
that leads me to the next question, Obi.
Hold on, Angel, before you go to the next question. Hold that question. Hey, so in the chat, Joshua said bad decisions build better character. The only L you take is from learning the lesson.
Mhm.
That's
hmm
from Joshua. And Shannon said a thin line between love and hate. And no, Obi, you turn the other cheek, sir.
I can't turn cheeks because if you hit my cheek, I'm gonna want to hit yours. Yeah.
Go ahead, Angel.
Mm-mm.
Um, so with that being said, can you think of a specific instance where you recognized yourself as the primary obstacle? You're
Um,
the primary reason why stuff blew up.
Yeah, I can give you. I can't give you a specific instance, but I can tell you, like going back to being a young father, I just wish that I would have done things a lot differently. My kids are great. Let's not get that twisted. But I just wish I would have been a better hands-on father than I was, but I wasn't because I was gone a lot on deployment. And the other thing is just being in the military, I should have been a lot more aggressive with my career than I was. But at times I wasn't because I figured this is my opportunity to have fun. I'm away from my family. I didn't think about like studying or trying to advance
Mhm.
because half the time I was deployed, I was having fun. The other time I was like missing my family, missing holidays, birthdays, funerals, weddings, family reunions, and it all. It was a lot. It was a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. I got through it, but I realized like once I was about to retire at my 20-year mark, I wish I would have did things a lot differently.
Okay.
Have you ever thought about seeking out support from family, or to overcome barriers you might have to go through?
Family, no, because my family is like, if they were a medical professional, yeah, but just to ask generic questions, nah. My family is different. I would seek professional experience first. I would go to my friends. I would hit my professional network to see, or I would just go get some help. But seeking my family for help, unless they were in a field that I could trust, or I knew that they were in that, um, they had that wheelhouse of work or experience, I wouldn't ask them. I would come to you, Ed, and be like, "Yo, Ed, check this out." I, I
Have
call
you
you.
ever did that? Have you ever gotten that help?
Oh yeah, I've been to therapy a lot. Just being in the military, you're gonna need therapy.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Being married, you definitely need therapy. And hell, I think being single, you need therapy. I think everybody needs therapy,
They do.
even if they have had a great life or a traumatic life, because it helps. Because you're going to a non-biased person, telling them about your life, your issues, your struggles, and they can help you out because they don't have a dog in the fight. They're not playing on your team. They just want to listen to help you out.
Besides God, I know you believe in God. We all go to the
Hmm.
same church. So
Hmm.
besides God, like who else like inspire you?
I'm gonna be honest about that,
Don't
man.
say Pastor Stephen.
No,
Besides him too.
no. My grandmother, man, she's passed away. She passed away about 25 years ago ish. But yeah, she inspired me and still inspires me. Um, I would probably take it back to the Kings of Comedy when Steve Harvey was talking about his grandmama and going to church. It might have been his mama going to church, but that was my grandmother. She always talked about church. She always talked about praying. She always talked about somebody having a blessed life. She always talking about, doing right even when you don't want to do right. Um, just talked about like a lot. And she prayed for me and she would cover me and tell me about what I needed to do, what I didn't need to do, how important family was. And all of that stuff still resonates with me today. And when she passed, I got to see my dad cry for the first time.
Wow.
And like
Mm.
that broke me down. Like I was in the military when it happened and I was crying like uncontrollably. And one of my uncles, who was also in the military, tried to help me out and console me, but it didn't work. I mean, I was like cutting a fool. And
You was
then
crying
after I
because of your
did it,
grandmother, or you was crying because of your
I was
father?
crying because of my dad, because I had never
Okay.
seen my dad cry. My dad was a cop, and he worked third shift, and always, he ruled with an iron fist. Always told me that men were not supposed to cry. So that was my thing. And I was like 20, I can't remember how it was, but like 25 ish. And I saw him cry, and I was like, I know you ain't crying. I mean, I understood why he was crying, but
Mhm.
still, just to see him cry, I was like, oh man, I can't believe this. And I'm standing outside. We hadn't even gotten into church yet. And I was just standing outside looking at him cry, and I just started crying like uncontrollably. And then when I got like in the church and sat down and realized what had happened, I was shocked because I was like, men ain't supposed to cry, but I cried. I couldn't stop it. And that was probably the first time in my life that I prayed to God. Like, and I learned what prayer was, and I learned how to listen to Him and hear Him speak.
Wow.
And I put that all into my grandmother because she told me, she said, "You're gonna listen to me one day. If you don't listen to me one day, you're gonna listen to God one day."
Mm.
And it happened on that day. And I still remember it vividly, like the limo, the church, my dad crying and everything.
Well,
That's
Obi, we
beautiful.
definitely support you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's why we got our hoodies on today because we support Obi, y'all. As everybody see, we got our hoodies on today because we
What? Ain't you
support
got a
Obi
hoodie on?
today. In support of Obi, we all got hoodies on. Hey, somebody in the chat said, ain't nobody, wait, I'm sorry, ain't nobody can do to make me change who I am. That energy just ain't for you. And then somebody else said, I'm a veteran, and it definitely builds character and also loyalty.
Yeah,
And
being a
also,
vet
it's a
is
blessing
hard,
to
man.
have your pops, Ob. Definitely here to make sure when I became one, I became what I never had.
Yeah, I agree with that because with that being said, like my dad was going a lot. He like I said, he was a cop. He worked third shift. He worked another job just to provide for us. So I wanted to be a hands-on dad. Um, and I was. My daughter had cheerleading practice. I would be the only dude there, but I was there. My son had football practice, track practice, or wrestling practice. I was always there. Even if I was in uniform, I would leave work just to make sure I was there. I didn't miss any of their games. I didn't miss any of the practices. And this is the truth. Like I was always there. Um, the only times I missed anything when I was deployed. So when I was home, I always tried to overcompensate. I did more than enough to try to make sure that I would never miss a moment.
That's dope. What type of like self care or regimens do you have now, like personal growth? You've been
Self care, just hanging out with the right people, hanging out with people that are smarter than me, hanging out with people that got more money than me,
you
hanging
sure?
out.
Because I
What you
remember
trying to say? Wait a minute,
stuff
you
like that. You
don't take
sure?
no don't take no
I
digs
know
at my
what you're talking.
friends,
I think I know
Angel.
what you're talking about. Insider,
Well,
y'all. I'm sorry, y'all.
let me
It's an insider, but I
yeah,
what
let
you
me
say? Are you
explain
sure?
this. Yeah, let me explain this part. So I got a bunch of friends. Like I got friends that go to church. I got friends that make money. I got some friends that are thugs. And then I got my boys from high school. So I hang out with any and everybody. I got friends that play spades a lot. I got friends that cook out. I got friends that travel. Um, yeah, I can't talk about what you're talking about, but yeah. Yeah, I just try to carry myself around people that's about something. Every now and then, I want to hang out with some bad boys, just because I don't want to forget where I came from.
So do you
So much
get do you get
people
involved in the bad boy stuff?
like what, like selling drugs? No, I don't do
I
none
mean,
of
whatever the
that.
bad boys do, you said you got whatever they doing. I don't know.
Nah, they playing. If they were gonna play spades or kick it, yeah, I'm gonna play spades. I'm gonna kick it. Go watch football games. If they want to go to a game, travel. But I ain't about to. Nah, I ain't carrying nothing that's illegal. Mm-mm.
So
Nope.
I'm telling you, said bad boys. So what do the bad boys do? That's what
I
I'm trying
can't
to
answer
figure
that
out.
question. I can't answer that question. I'm just saying, like, and I don't want to use the word thugs, but no, I can't answer that question. I know people that do a little bit of everything, but I got too much going on. Nah, and my freedom is gonna be free. Mm-mm.
Well,
Like I
just
got hookup. I got hookups. I can get you what you need. I can point you in the right direction to get you what you need, but I ain't about to do it.
Don't point me in that directions. I'm
don't
good.
point me in that direction.
Mm-mm. I'm always looking for a hookup. So if anybody got any hookups, let me know. Always looking for a hookup.
Nothing in life is free. Everything
Yeah,
costs. It might cost
everything
you
costs.
little. It might cost you a
Hmm.
lot, but it's gonna cost you eventually.
It
It ain't
might
gonna cost me my
now,
freedom,
it
so I'm
might
good.
hurt you in the future, but
Yeah,
it
Exactly.
definitely
yeah.
is.
So, Obi, can you think of any specific instance where you have recognized yourself as the primary obstacles to achieve a desired outcome?
Um, I can't think of a particular instance, but I can tell you that at times I can be stubborn, and I think I get that from my dad and my grandmother because she was stubborn too. And that's unfortunately I can be stubborn, and I know my stubbornness can get in my own way. I know my stubbornness can kind of get me out of things that I want to get into, and that's probably the best answer you're gonna get from me because I can be stubborn. Like I'm a pretty cool, calm, and collective guy. But if you piss me off, that asshole and stubbornness is gonna come out. Like, don't come for me and mine. I'm good. I can be your friend. I can be your ally for life. But if you mess with me and mine, it's a wrap. I'm coming for you. Like I'm coming for your neck for real.
You
Don't
seem
let
even
the
killed though, Obi. Almost like things can piss
I
you off.
am. I am, but hey, don't f with me and mine, bro. For real. I'm a nice guy, but don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted.
So again, everybody that's tuning in, watching, I know somebody in the comment section said that yes, today is an Obi day. That's why we all got our hoodies on. It's definitely an Obi day today, and we just asking Obi and seeing why Obi got in his own way, and we just having a conversation with him today. I know y'all see Kyra's not here today. She had to take a leave of absence, and Sheena did
No,
also.
she knew. Kyra knew today was my day. I didn't want her on here. I didn't want her on here.
Kyra, if you
You
watching,
know,
Kyra, if you watching, he's coming for you. Say that again, Obi.
Yep. She ain't here. I did not want her here. She got fired today. I ain't want her here. I told her if I had to answer some questions, I didn't want her asking me none. Because my stubbornness was gonna come out.
Oh wow! I'm gonna go back to the chat section again. For men, self care is making sure we become the best men we can be. Career, health, and family.
mhm.
Another person said, "I can't do it. I got too much to lose. I guess hang with the bad boys."
Mhm.
We know the difference. Them nigga outside. Wow, that's how I spell N66A. I'm also evaluating myself as an obstacle to make sure I'm making the best decisions to get the primary goal and outcomes.
Mhm. Yep. I mean, it's hard being a black man, man. Let me tell you, it's hard.
Why? Just for people, just for
Because
women, maybe other people might watch this in the future. Why can you explain to them
because
why it's hard to be a black man in today's society?
I think a lot of us bring issues upon ourselves that we don't need to. I think the media brings a lot of attention to us when they don't need to. I think a lot of us make mistakes in relationships that makes all of us look bad. I think a lot of us are bad fathers, which makes us look bad. But I think the other races, when it comes to like the same mistakes we make, they don't show that in the news. They don't talk about it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. They glorify what we do wrong, but they don't glorify whatever all the other men do wrong.
So, Obi, I think I do agree with you on that, and I think sometimes too we have to be careful in making the agreements that we make. I don't know if you read that book, The Four Agreements, or not, but one of the things that caught me in it was he said we make a lot of agreements. So like how you said, oh, I know I'm stubborn. I think I got it from this or that. It's kind of like
Hmm.
almost like once you realize you kind of had that little pull or tug, then you basically agreed with the behavior that you have with it. And I think even as Black people, sometimes we can agree with what we think society thinks of who we are or what we have
Hmm.
or like how we are portrayed. And I think that sometimes, if we want different, like we got to stop saying that this is who I am, or that's how I am, or this is who I'm going to be based off of what society says that we are. And like really quick, like an example, even like for me, uh, I used to, I'm a growing up, I had to clear my plate before I could get anything to drink, right? So it's like, you got to eat all your food. And so now as an adult, like because that is like set in my mind and I agree with that, sometimes I won't drink until I have cleared my plate. Like it's
Wow.
automatic.
Wow.
I will not touch my water, my whatever.
Really?
Plate is clean. Even like I've literally just started getting control of like, okay, Angel, I have to tell myself, Angel, you don't have to eat all the food on your plate. You can take it home and you can drink your water or have, your San Pellegrino or whatever it is you're going to drink. And I have to tell myself that sometimes because it's just was so ingrained in me.
Hmm.
This is just how it was supposed to be. So I think that even in society's world, I think that we become who we think people believe us to be.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah, we got to take Angel to lunch one day to see if that's true. Because I want to
Wait,
see
wait, wait,
that.
wait, wait. I'm about to say something too.
I already
Angel,
Right, best thing y'all could have
Angel, when
said.
you go on a date, whoever you go on a date with, he ain't gonna want you to take no doggy back home. Don't be taking doggy bags
Yeah.
home.
Mm-mm.
No
He want to
man,
see you
I don't
eat.
know, fellas. Let me know, fellas. I no man don't want no woman take no doggy back home. Eat your plate.
Yeah.
Eat everything on that
I want
plate,
to see how much you
or
eat.
order something smaller.
Boo.
Would say,
Yeah.
Obi.
I want to see
Hey,
how
right
much you
now
eat.
the phone line's open. If you guys got any questions you want to ask Obi tonight, it's Obi night. Call in or sit in the chat if you got anything you want to ask Obi. The phone number is 704-891-9560. If you got anything you want to ask Obi, call in. The phone lines are open. Let us know. Because Angel over here talking about she ain't eating all food, fellas. So don't
Mm.
go on a date with Angel because she gonna take stuff home and give it to her cat.
Trying to be cute.
Hey, no time for that. I'm
Mm.
50. This is what you're gonna get, okay?
But that's wild though. You can't. So you eat all your food without drinking. Like I think I'll choke.
Mm.
I gotta eat a little bit, drink, eat,
Every
drink.
time I eat, every time.
I just
That's
Mm-mm.
that is just something that was ingrained. And so now
Mm.
I'm making a
wow.
change my mind about it.
That is
I,
pretty
yeah, I got a
interesting.
similar story to that, Angel. My mom told me I had to eat all my food too. And one time she fed me something that I didn't like, and I told her I didn't like it. She made me eat it anyway, and I vomited like explosively. She never did that again. And I told myself I'll never make my kids eat all their food, or I never make them eat something they don't like because that was the worst vomiting experience I've ever had. I'm sorry to be nasty, but
Yeah. And see, that's how I am because I could have got run up and made my kids do the same thing, but I'm like, no, let them kids alone. So I watched a lot and decided what I wasn't going to do.
mm,
I didn't like that as a kid, so I'm not
mm,
going to do that. Uh oh, I think
yeah.
I
It's
calling
a
in.
Oh
phone call. Let's
gosh.
go to the
Oh
phone
God.
line.
If
Let's
it's
go to the
Kyra, I'm
phone
leaving.
line.
I'm leaving for real.
I
Caller.
had a question for Obi.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Obi, good show, man. I appreciate you getting personal and just divulging all of this important information. And I wanted to ask you a question to kind of lead into that a little bit.
Hmm.
I know you've been through a lot, man. You talked to us about how you've been through a lot of things in your life. So tell me, Obi, outside of therapy or maybe any outside influences or advice, how do you internally build what are techniques that you use internally to be able to develop the skills to cope with things that you go through in your life personally, internally? Thanks.
Okay. Um,
Thank you,
the
caller.
main thing I do is realize that stress kills, and I don't want to harm or hurt myself like internally. So regardless of the situation, I'm not gonna stress out. I'm not gonna lose my cool. I'm not gonna lose my temper. I'm not gonna let anybody upset me. I hate arguments. I really do. I hate drama. I'm not a fan of chaos. I lived that for 20 years. I'm past that. So I'll listen. I'll pay attention, and I'll either answer the question or answer the chaos of the situation when I feel it's right. But I'm not gonna argue with anybody about anything anymore because stress kills, and I'm not gonna cut my life short because of somebody else's issues. I
Mm.
I don't fight. I ain't fighting nobody no more. I ain't. Like don't mess with me in mine. That's a different story. Let's be clear. Don't mess with me in mine. That's a different story. But like some work or friendship type stuff, or even relationships, nah. I'm gonna be always be at peace. My peace is everything, and I've said that before.
This is
Well,
pretty interesting. Hold on, Angel. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. This is
yeah,
pretty interesting in the chat. Somebody said, yes, being a black man is the most difficult task in all the world. We are also one of the most endangered species in all the world, including animals.
I
wow.
believe that. I agree with that statement, and I believe it.
Go ahead, Angel. I'm sorry.
All right. No, I was gonna say, Obi, I appreciate you being super vulnerable, and I'm gonna be a little vulnerable here. I do not be putting this kind of stuff out here, but
Mm-mm.
because you shared about how you get in your own way. Um, I get in my own way too. Mine is a little bit different, but I get in my own way sometimes by trying to be that girl.
What do you
That
mean? What
What
do you
that
mean by
mean?
Angel? Hold on. What you mean by that?
You know that song by New
Hold on,
Edition.
wait, hold on, wait, hold on, Angel, hold on, y'all. Hey, y'all, if y'all want to hear Angel's story about how she getting her own way and being very vulnerable, tune in next week. We gonna cut it off right now. If you want to hear Angel's story, everybody get your popcorn together. Tune in next week. All right, y'all. We love y'all. We out of here. Peace out.